Hello viewers, here is a Duracraft 12-inch oscillating fan. It is model unknown. The only information that I can see is this thing here, and I believe that means it's from 1996. I know people have told me how to read those date codes before, and I just keep forgetting how it's supposed to work. So I guess there is no model number on this. I can't see it anywhere. That's unfortunate. But anyways, this is the one of the three fans that Matt from VCF Forums sent me. This was another fan that I remember from school. One of the, I want to say it was one of the 4th grade classrooms had one of these, and it was comical because you have this big classroom with, I don't know, 20 or 30 students in it, and the room has got to be, 20 by 20 or something. It's a big room, and this is all they have in there. No air conditioning, and of course this is back in the days when it was hot. You still went to school, and so we're all sitting there sweating, and this thing is off in the corner of the room doing nothing, more or less. Anyways, I always liked these Duracraft fans from this era. There was a pharmacy store near the food market that we used to go to. The physical store isn't there anymore. The chain is still around. It was called the VCS or something like that, and they always had Duracraft fans. So when we would go there to get food at the market, sometimes we'd go to the VCS, and I used to like to look at the fans there. And they always had different Duracraft models behind the register as well. So I remember seeing these around quite a bit, and so for that reason I kind of like them. The ones from the 90s and early 2000s. So anyways, I'm not sure if this is the exact model that was in the school. If it's not, it's something very similar. I recall the model at the school being extremely underpowered. This one doesn't seem to be underpowered at all, so I tend to think it wasn't the same. But who knows, it's been a long time, and I just don't remember. It has the foolproof lock here. Not lock, speed dial, so you gotta press it in and turn it. I don't recall the one at the school having that. Maybe it did, I just don't remember. It's been too long. And then it has the square oscillations control there. Plastic handle on the motor housing, which I've never been too fond of because these can break relatively easily. This must have been cleaned at some point relatively well because the motor is filthy in there, but yet the blades and the guard are pretty clean. And it must have been made out of several different kinds of plastic because the stand is perfectly fine. The knob is extremely yellow. The oscillation mechanism is not the oscillation mechanism, the tilt stand thing is yellowed. And the motor cover is not yellowed, but it's definitely starting to deteriorate in various different ways. Meanwhile, the blade is fine, the badge is fine, and so forth. So clearly they used several different kinds of plastic to construct this thing, some of which were more retardant to the sun than others. Which is kind of a shame because it's very obvious what's where it's yellowed. Speed control has like a red mark on there to indicate what speed it's on. And I don't know if this is working properly. I find it kind of difficult to use. And of course now it's working perfectly fine because it's on video and it worked the way I described it was working before. That just wouldn't happen. So anyways, now that the switch is working perfectly fine, let's go ahead and plug this up. It does have the polarized variety plug. No fuse, of course. There's the informations on the plug, if that's of interest to anybody. If it's not, well, it's still in the video. Okay, it's plugged in now. I'm going to turn the oscillations off, and let's start off at low. Now the bearings are stiff, and so it's running very, very slowly. This is not the normal low speed. but because of the bearing situation, that's what it's running. So we're just going to skip low, go to medium. And it seems to have enough power on medium to overcome the friction of the bearings. And now it's moving at a moderate pace. Not an impressive amount of air, but I would say it's about average. For a fan of the time, you know, this is probably not even a low of one of the translucent Galaxy Lasco fans, but for an oscillations fan of this style and age, I'd say it's about average. Okay, let's go to high. There's pretty good air on high. Again, not impressive, but it's definitely average or slightly above average. Okay, I've turned the oscillations on. And I'm going to turn it back off. There we go. Let's try that again. Nope. It's just a little bit too stiff. Okay, it's not going to work. Alright, so the bearings and the oscillation mechanism severely need to be lubricated, particularly the oscillation mechanism. But it does run, it's all there, and it's a neat piece to have in the collection.